So, one of the things about League is camera control. Obviously, you need to be able to see. And so, as you move around the map, the camera follows you. But you also need to be able to see what's happening in the other lanes. So, even if we're mid, if I go down to, or if I want to go and gank bot lane, I've got to look across the entire river. Which means that if my camera's not locked, I can look at this choke point, go down the river, check this choke point. Depending on where we have vision, will change how you play. But like, for example, you want to look where you're going to be walking before you actually walk there. You can click on the map to see where these are. You can even see in 5 seconds, this is going to spawn, and you can see the minions on our side are pushing up. You know, they're at our tier 2s right now. And so you can also know that the minions are at these tier 2s as well. So they're kind of walking up like this, and eventually they're going to pop out of the fog of war right here. A little bit late, but there they are. And so you can use the actual map itself to look around, center it back on yourself, lock the camera, do what you need to do. Alright, so I kind of forgot to do this while I was recording the first attempt of this, but if you want to move the camera, you can bring your cursor to the edge of the screen to move it that direction. But you can also click in the middle, like with your middle mouse, and drag it around. And you get this neat little effect, like you're controlling it from the map itself. And then if you go to mouse button drag scroll, it will invert it. So like one follows the direction you move, and then one works like it's the map, like this. Personally, I just play with unlocked, and I use the spacebar to center the camera on me. You can hold the spacebar down with your thumb while you use whatever abilities that you need to. One thing that I would say is since you're already using your thumb for the camera, if you play it like me, go to select ally 1, 2, 3, and 4, and this is for your team. It starts off with F1 being for yourself, which I would never use in the first place, because you can just use space, because it centers the camera on your champion. And so what I did instead is I swapped my 4 allies to Z, X, C, and V. I moved them around depending on what I want to see. Like, for example, my jungler is on my X key, and then like my solo laners are on C and V, with my bot laner, either the ADC or the support, being on Z. And this just allows me to look around the map a little bit quicker without having to be like, okay, where is my jungler? I can just press X and see where my jungler's at. Obviously, I'm in a bot game right now, so you can't necessarily... One second, there's too many minions here. They're gonna kill me. But say I want to maybe just start walking this way. I can shift my camera in the direction I'm going, and then once I'm there, that's when I can use my abilities without necessarily moving my camera, so then my skill shots and whatever else I have to do don't get all bogged up and I can get them prepped in the meantime. I think it's hard to do right away, but once you get used to it, you can start doing it more consistently. And so like you just move your camera to where you think the fight is going to be, and then once it happens, that's when you use your abilities. I feel like camera control is one of the things that isn't great in the game, because I've played Dark Souls for a long time, and one of the things in that game is if you are putting your back up to a wall and trying to fight somebody, you're not going to be able to see. You're going to be clipping through the terrain, and it just kind of sucks. So what you have to do is unlock your camera and then just kind of look where you need to go. And it's kind of something that is, I guess, disorienting and uncomfortable at the very beginning. It's almost like, why was the game designed this way? But once you get used to it, you kind of forget about it. If you have, like, vision of it, like, say if I wanted to gank top lane here, and we've got a ward here, I can look in the map and see whatever profile picture would walk through there if there was an enemy. But it helps if there's a fight going on to see what abilities they're using ahead of time. So say I'm here and I'm trying to walk up top lane, I can click and like move my way over there while also doing this. And if anything happens or I see anything nearby me, I can press space and immediately get back to it. You know, maybe stun the Stone Crab if I have to. But it helps to move your character and then focus on using your abilities afterwards. It's like 2 separate steps, if that makes sense. So like, for example, if I want to hit these minion waves, I can walk up here, move my camera, dash through the minions, use my abilities, and then walk out. And then while I'm moving, I can just hold spacebar, even if my camera's not necessarily locked on. What else is there? I feel like this next part is going to be easier to explain with Syndra. It's so hard to explain, and even with Syndra as like a visual aid, it makes it difficult. So like, say I want to queue this spot on the ground, or I'll wait for the minions to walk up, but say I want to queue the minions, a lot of the times you can be like, you'll be like moving around and whatnot, trying to dodge the enemy skill shot, and then when it comes up, then you do it. Which doesn't seem that hard, but like when you're in the heat of combat, sometimes it helps to like preview your movement, move your camera, hit your skill shot, do what you have to do. If you're trying to control your character while you're using a spell, it takes away from your mouse movements, because you can't click twice in the same frame. Like, you can click once over here and then click over here to Q, but you can't like move and cast the Q at the same time. So if you're doing like short little movements in a fight, you can also swap to longer movements, let yourself just walk, and throw your skill shots down like that. Hope that helps.